Hey everyone, GG here. Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope you enjoy. We all knew that the new Far Cry was going to be something radical. Admittedly, the gaming community was a bit too radical in its speculations that it would pit players against dinosaurs in a Jurassic Park type scenario, or even in the alternative prehistory where man and dinosaurs crossed paths. Instead, we got Far Cry Primal, which may not have been any dinosaurs, but it still has the potential to deliver an experience unlike any others that gamers have had before. For the first time in video gaming history, we have a AAA game braving the Stone Age, specifically the Mesozoic period, between 10,000 BC and 5,000 BC, when humanity was trying to carve out a place for itself among the mammoths, saber-toothed cats and other menacing megafauna that ruled the prehistoric wilds. It's a brave new direction for the series to take, daring to deny gamers the luxury of picking off your enemies with a sniper rifle from a mile away, or driving and paragliding your way around the map, which is obviously what Richard Branson does around his private islands. But such a new direction also comes with its challenges, the first of which is to make sure the Primal doesn't have things taken in the new direction. Rather than just giving a caveman reskin to its predecessors, here are the things that Far Cry Primal's latest outgoing needs to do to make the most of its tantalising new setting and giving the series a much needed refresh after two brilliant but virtually identical games. So the first thing that I feel needs to be implemented the most is hunting. It was a central theme of both Far Cry 4 and 3, but with the Stone Age setting, the game needs to address the most fundamental of reasons that people have ever begun hunting in the first place: food. Promisingly, Ubisoft said that hunting for food will play a big role in Primal, so there's a good chance it could be implemented in a way that was similar to survival games. I'm not just talking about food in the sense that eating a raw steak of a woolly mammoth should instantly undo the damage from a rival tribesman's spear, but food should be essentially the survival of you and your tribe. For example, an interesting mechanic would be to gather meat for you to hunt it down in the wild and take it back to your tribe, creating some sort of stockpile for your people. But then in the winter it goes quicker, so that means more people need the food, and in the summer it rots quicker. So then it would be great that it would affect the food supplies kind of thing. If Primal just became a hand-to-mouth struggle to avoid starvation, then that would probably be a bit too real and could take the joy out of the game. There should be consequences for not eating, such as lower health, you can't run as long, but then if you eat a lot, then you should have benefits, so boost of stamina, boost for jumping, more health, and so on. The next part of Primal which I think needs to be seen more is animals. So yes, every single animal in the Far Cry Primal trailer was obviously not something you'd find wandering around a pen at your local zoo. But there was obviously woolly mammoths and mammoths? What the fuck is a mammoth? I meant mammoths. And saber-toothed tigers. And there are likely to be bears that will make the grizzlies of the previous Far Cries look absolutely terrible. But with the relatively short turnaround between the new game and Far Cry 4, you probably wonder whether the animals will be more than just rehashes of what we've already seen before. Of course, reskins would look great for Blood Dragon, but that was very much a side dish for Far Cry 3, whereas Primal is being billed as a full game into itself. The prehistoric animals need to have a new animations and be more aggressive, so instead of being like a tiger, it should be even more aggressive than that. So we know that the animals will be megafauna, and so they will be bigger than the creatures of previous games, but the creatures of Primal also need to be faster, more aggressive, and more of a threat than we've seen before. So Primal is set in a world where humanity is pretty middling in the food chain, so Far Cry has a long period itself on the humanity versus nature theme, but it will need to ramp it up for Primal to capture the feeling of living in a savage and wild world. So the more aggressive the animals are, the more scared you are to go out hunting, so you'll be more afraid to die and lose your stuff. So this is moving kind of towards a survival game kind of thing. The next main subject that I think they need to look at is weapons. So a submachine gun that fires rocks, or a high-powered like a spear that can throw skewer 3 people, or grenades that can be used using the brain of a mammoth. No, that's not things that we want. But they do raise the question of how Primal will manage to be a vaguely authentic prehistoric game. But you need to give the players a fun selection of weapons to play around with. So Far Cry has always been a great shooter, but now it will have to innovate itself to become an equally great first-person spear thrower. So far that we know that the weapon crafting will be an essential aspect of the game, and Ubisoft said that Primal will have a huge variety of spears and bows, so maybe we can see clubs using jagged bones or teeth and skulls, that kind of stuff. Ubisoft seems to keep things grounded in what we have of prehistory, so hopefully avoid throwing in ridiculous overpowered weapons just to appease the gung-homers of gamers. It looks like there'll be plenty of gritty Stone Age weaponry on offer though, and the heavy focus on crafting will hopefully mean that there'll be more room to tweak for them to suit your playing style. But for all these rudimentary weapons to work in a satisfying way, Primal will also need to add a whole new layer to the series gameplay. So this is the thing I'm looking forward to the most, which is tribes. So tribal warfare is something we're all looking forward to in Primal. Rampaging through a burning village, torturing the men, and not so raping the women, but burning the babies obviously taps into the Primal savage fantasy in like everyone basically. But rather than go down the outright competitive route, Ubisoft has an opportunity here to offer the player some choices on about how they approach the tribal. So Far Cry 3 and 4 had very simplistic alliance structures, so you were basically told who's the bad guy and who's the good guy, so who you're going to be working with. But Primal should offer players the choice between fighting against the other tribes or uniting with them. So if you don't like the person who, I don't know, who owns the tribe, you kill him, you take over that tribe and you make everyone happy. But will you be a feared tribal raider, or will you be a true leader who unites all the tribes together to help them prosper? Earning notoriety could buff you up in battle, while uniting tribes could give you more fast travel locations and better access to resources and food, while all other tribes could start off hostile. You could earn their favour by saving members of their tribes from saber-tooth attacks or sparing one of them in battle, that kind of thing. But one of Primal's developers described this as all about hunting, all about fighting another tribe trying to take your stuff, which suggests that the focus will be more war than peace. But it's early days, and hopefully there will be more than that just to fighting. So, let's see. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please show me some support by liking or subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.